for people that don't know you, I'm sure most people know you, but for people that don't know you, what's your name? What do you do? What's the name of your company? Give us all that.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Madison McGhee. I'm the owner of Reverie Wedding and Event Planning. I'm a master certified wedding planner through the CWP Society. I'm just really happy to be here, and I've been planning for about 10-ish years now, which is crazy. I went to school for hospitality and resort management, and then I started off in like corporate event planning, and then I realized that I liked weddings a lot better, so I kind of fell into the wedding world. I worked for another company for a long time, and they really like taught me everything I needed to know. It was a great learning experience from them. And then I started my own company about 5 years ago now, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Time runs together. But yeah, so hospitality is just really the field that I've always been interested in. And here we are in weddings.
Why were you interested in hospitality? The reason I asked that is because you working with you for so long that we have, it's like you're a natural at this. Like you really, yeah, you are. You're really good at it. You're very thorough. You're always really sweet, and you're communicative and everything. So, like, what was it about weddings that really hooked you at first?
So I actually, what really got me into hospitality is I started making wedding cakes when I was probably about 15.
Oh,
So
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
yep. So, Cake Boss on TLC really got me going. And then I started making wedding cakes. I actually made my brother's groom's cake for his wedding. So I really started off in the cake baking and making and decorating position. And then I decided when it was time to go to college, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna open up a bakery. And so I was like, well, I'll do hospitality because that's part of it. And I really loved the part of baking and whatnot, but it was just too much. I got burnt out really quickly. And I was like, I think I want to shift more to events because then I started taking event classes in college, and I really felt like that was more of my calling. I really enjoyed it. And so I took a lot of event planning classes. I did a lot of corporate event planning, and then I started working for a AV company, and I did a lot of corporate event planning through them. And it was really fun. I like corporate events, but I really like more of the party aspect of it. Like, I don't like the breakout meetings and all the things changing last minute, which I'm used to, but that's more of like the monotony, mundane side of it. But I really like the fun, like, let's celebrate the employees, let's celebrate the company. I like the celebration of everything. And then I got into weddings. I started out as an assistant, and then I was like, oh, this is more my speed. Like, I really like the unpredictability of weddings. Weddings have the same general, like, idea and timeline. Like, we're gonna have a ceremony, we're gonna have a reception. So I really like the set structure, but I like how every single wedding is completely different, and I like thinking on my feet and moving quickly and finding solutions to problems. So really, I just loved the joy that weddings brought me because it is literally the happiest day of someone's life. And getting to be there and help bring their ideas to life and celebrate them is what makes me so passionate about weddings. So that's when I was like, oh, yep, I'm done. I found weddings. This is the best thing I've ever done in my life. So that's how I got into weddings.
Are there any particular types of weddings or types of couples that you enjoy working with? Now, let me preface this, give a little context. We've worked a lot of different weddings, a lot of types of different weddings and different types of people and everything before. So I know you can handle it all. But is there like a favorite type of wedding or type of couple, or you just enjoy all of it? What's your scoop on that?
Um, I really thoroughly enjoy all of it, but I really like the families that welcome me back, and I really like the weddings that celebrate the couple in their own unique style. So when I first have an initial consultation, with a couple, it's they think they're interviewing me as their planner, which they are, but I'm also interviewing them as well. So I'm like learning like what are your favorite things to do on the weekend? It's not just a, oh, how long have you been together? How'd you meet? What's your dream wedding? It's like, what do you thoroughly like to do? I like to learn about them as a person, and then I like to incorporate all those special, like, put their unique vibe and twist on everything to make sure that when someone walks into their wedding, they're like, oh, this is definitely their wedding. It's not just another cookie cutter wedding that I'm a part of. I like to make it uniquely to that couple. And then really learning the couple along the way, it really makes it special because they become family afterwards. I've done numerous family weddings. I've had one recently where I did the daughter's wedding about 6 years ago, and they just called me back for the sister's wedding, and they invite me to their home. They cook me dinner. Like it's really like a family aspect. So I really like being a part of their family and helping them celebrate those big occasions, and that they call me back because that means that we're working well together and that it sings like our praises that we are very personable and that we love like being a part of everyone's celebration. And even with like siblings, their vibes are completely different. So making sure that it fits each sibling and making sure that their wedding is uniquely theirs.
So it's really important for you to make sure that everything feels like it's a family gathering, a family
Mhm.
celebration too, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're there
I
to
got
celebrate the couple, and I want everyone there to be happy and just focusing all their attention on the couple. And also, it is a big day for the family and friends as well because their daughter or their son or their cousins getting married, their granddaughters getting married. So it's a big day for them as well. And I want them to be able to sit back and relax and enjoy all of it and not stress over any details. That's where I come in. You get to enjoy the day as much as the couple does because it's a big day for you as well. You're spending a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. There's no reason for you to stress out over anything either. So it's a wonderful stress-free celebration for everyone.
this is true. This is true. And actually speaking along those lines, so from a vendor's perspective, what makes a wedding day feel smooth?
Knowing what's going on so you have an expectation of what to expect when you walk in. Some vendors walk into weddings on wedding days and they know the general idea, but then they're like, oh, well, I wasn't told about this last minute change, or, just the unpredictability of it, which things change quite frequently. But as a vendor, I feel like coming in and knowing exactly what's happening, whether there was a last minute change or there's a surprise during the reception or anything, just really knowing what to expect and then just coming in ready to take on the day and just being happy and optimistic walking in.
So flexibility is extremely
Yes.
important, wouldn't you say?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Not, and it's not just a one wedding thing. Like
Mhm.
flexibility is important with every single wedding because things
Exactly.
change. Yeah.
Yes. Things
Yeah. We
change in a blink of an eye, and it's just you have to be adaptable. You have to be like, okay, that sounds great. Let's move on and go from there. And so most people are like, you seem so calm on a wedding day. And it's like, well, if something does happen or goes wrong, I mean, it's happening. So I don't have time to sit here and freak out about it. It's what
That's
can I
right.
do to move on and make sure that everything is still perfectly the way that it's going. So it's really just, I don't have time to freak out.
No, you don't. You don't because once it's game time. Like I talked to Michael Doyle the other day. He's like it's showtime. It's game time. Like it's
Exactly.
on. Like we got
Yeah.
to go. Um. So can you think of anything that couples need to know, like one primary thing they need to remember to do during the planning process? Do you have like a just remember this one thing and you'll be good, or is it just like a group of things, or like how do you approach planning with your clients?
Oh, it's very important. So, the main thing, there's a lot of little details that I feel like couples often forget, but I mean, that is why you hire a planner because we are there to guide you through everything. And my job is to make the decisions easier for you. So, really, the main thing I want couples to take away is to trust your vendors. You're hiring great people, so just trust your vendors that we are there to make it the best day of your life. And it's just as important for us as it is for the couple. So, my job is to really give the couple all of their options, let them know what works best for them and their event, because every option is completely different for every couple and every wedding. So just making sure that they understand like why I'm thinking through things, but not giving them like a, oh, well, you need to do this because this, and this, because that overwhelms people. So just taking it down and being like, so here are your options. I think this would be better for what you're expecting, what you're envisioning, making sure that it goes well, everything goes smoothly. I think we should go this option, but the option is yours. So just explaining like the pros and cons of everything, but really just helping them decide without adding that additional stress and all the tiny small details that they often have to worry about. So just trust your vendors.
Amen to that, especially the ones that are really good at communicating.
Yes.
So let's touch on that really quickly because you know how I feel about communication, why it's so important. But why is communication between vendors and clients so important?
It's the most important part of my job because if a client sends an email, usually they're thinking, they have a whole bunch of thoughts in their head. They're like, okay, I have to get it written down on paper. Okay, then they email it to me, and then they're just sitting there wondering, asking the same questions over and over. And then they go down a spiral deep hole and they're just like, okay, now I'm overthinking everything. So really just communicating it just helps the clients like be heard, and it makes them like realize, oh, okay, so I'm not overthinking everything. This really is possible. We could do this. So just making them be seen and heard in a timely manner. That way they don't start overthinking everything. So really, even when clients email me a bunch of questions, I like to separate it and put their question and then put my response in blue. That way they still know their thought and where I'm leading with their thought. And then I post like pictures of examples and real life experiences and whatnot. That way they see where I'm coming from as well. So just communication is key with vendors because I mean they need to know things in a timely manner just because I mean it's a big day. They're spending a
Yeah,
lot of money, so they just want to make sure that they're making the right decision.
we get a lot of that. Hey, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you know how they like throw ideas out at you?
Yeah,
And that's one thing that I want potential clients to know. It's like, no idea is too crazy. Like
exactly.
we can probably pull it off, you know?
Yes.
And
My
I can
favorite is this is my first wedding. I've never done this before, so I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I expect this to be your first wedding usually. And then it's like I want to guide you through this. This is why you hired me. You don't have to apologize for asking too many questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. So, but yeah, it's so funny. It's like, this is my first wedding. It's like, okay, that's what I'm expecting usually.
extra congratulations for that.
Yes.
Or yeah, but yeah, it's true. It's like they have they're going to do this one time, and you've done it what, a couple thousand times at
Hmm.
this point. So, isn't that
Yep,
wild to think about that? Like how many
I
times
know.
you've actually, if you think about way back when you first started, like up until today, like look at that roadmap, that back, at
I
everything you've
know it's
accomplished. I mean,
wild.
that's pretty awesome, though, Madison. It
I've
really
even
is.
tried to think back of like how many weddings I've actually been a part of, and I'm like, I just can't count anymore. And that's great. Like, I'm so thankful. But it's so wild. It's like, how did I get here so fast? And it feels like I've been doing weddings forever, but it feels like I just started as well. So, like, the excitement of my job is it makes it so rewarding because, like I said, I feel like I've just started and I'm got that new, like bubbly, excited energy, like going into every wedding. But it's like, no, I've been doing this for years and years and years. So it's a crazy feeling for sure.
You mentioned that bubbly, excited energy, and I ask this of every wedding vendor, but do you ever get nervous? Like actually,
Yeah.
like do you actually get nervous before a wedding day? And what does that feel like to you, and how do you manage that?
I actually get nervous before every single rehearsal that I coordinate. And it's just, I'm sitting in the car, I'm listening to a podcast, trying to like, because if I listen to hype music, then I get nervous, like extra nervous. So I'm just sitting in the car, listening to a podcast to kind of calm my nerves. I'm reviewing all my notes, making sure I know how to pronounce everyone's name, like all the wedding party that I haven't met yet. I'm looking at all my notes, making sure that everything's exactly the way it has been. So it's just I get nervous, but I know what's going on. I know how to do my job, but it's just those like pre-event jitters, and I just go in there, and then when everyone starts filing in, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, hi, how are you? So good, so nice to meet you, so good to see you again." And then it just floats away, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing." So it's just the driving to the venue to do the rehearsal is usually when I get the nervous jitters. But wedding day, not so much. But I usually get a coffee on my way to a wedding, so that helps calm my nerves too. So
Coffee calms your nerves. It doesn't wire you up.
no, I could drink coffee and fall straight to sleep. So it's just
That's wild. Okay.
yeah,
I didn't
just
know
a
that about
wedding
you.
ritual.
I want to back up for a second because this is something I've wondered about you. Because when you went and got certified, you had actually been doing weddings before that. So what did the certification process teach you that you didn't already know? And how beneficial was that to you after you got certified?
Yeah, so when I got certified, it was still in-person classes. So now they've switched more to like an online platform. So really going in person actually helped. So like I knew a lot about events and weddings from like college classes, but you know, in a lot of like classes, you don't really know until you're in the situation, like learning hands-on experience. I really think the hands-on experience is the number one teaching of all. Like that's definitely where you learn the most. So learning in a hands-on environment and then going to the certification courses, it was really nice to see where other vendors were coming from because it was there were some very new planners in there. There were also very experienced planners in the course. So just seeing where everyone was coming from and then us all like leveling out in the courses was really great. But it also seeing what they were teaching and then also we practiced it in like a live situation. So it was like where we're learning both like from the teachings but also through hands-on experience as well. So the certification and continuing my education because this industry changes constantly and learning from other people of like situations they've been in the past and then how they navigated through that has really been a key source of my learning is just seeing how everyone else adapts in the industry. When I first started, I started off with the base level of certified wedding planner. And then I built up to senior certified wedding planner and then back up to master certified wedding planner. And each different level had different accreditations and then stuff that they needed for me to go through. So I know with like the master certified wedding planner, I had to get letters of recommendations from my vendors that I work with, as well as testimonials from my clients. So the due diligence of actually seeing how I am in real life and hearing it from my peers was really nice because you know you work so hard and then people tell you like, "Oh, good job," but then at the end of it, it's like, did they really think I did a good job? And then so seeing that
Yeah.
from my vendors and my clients, it was like, oh wow, I really am good at my job and they love me. So it was nice to see that and transition it into like leveling up my certifications. So becoming master certified was really, really a fun experience. And then also the certification program through the CWP Society, they also redo it every like few years to make sure that we're keeping up with the times and the trends and things change along the way. So I'm going
Oh,
through
interesting.
yeah, I'm going through the master certification program again right now because they just revamped it. So it's really nice. They check all my packages, they check to make sure that we're doing what like the industry leads us to do, and then make sure we're doing it with dedication and passion and making sure we're doing everything correctly. So it is really nice to have that as a base and to learn from some of the greatest planners of all time. So it is great to like get that help from people, but also it is nice to add my own like spin on it and make sure that I'm staying true to myself and to my branding and making sure that it's a Reverie wedding when you hire me and making sure that we're committed to just being our true self as well. So the certification is really great, but I like adding my own spin on it as well to make sure that we stand out, we're still unique, and that we're still providing the best quality of service for all of our clients and to all of our vendors and everyone. So I'm thankful for the certification, but I really do like to add my own little spin on it as well.
Speaking of that, what would you say sets a Reverie wedding planning wedding apart from another one? What's your distinction?
So, my professionalism for sure. So first off, let me go back. So reverie means to be lost in a daydream. So when I was looking for a business name, I didn't want it to be anything like I didn't want it to be my name, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it was like, oh, well, Madison McGhee. I mean, that just sounds interesting, but I want it to be like one word, a big bold word that just has a beautiful meaning. I knew I wanted my branding colors to be iridescent, so that way it's very whimsical but still very professional. So when I finally found Reverie, I was like, oh, to be lost in a daydream, that's just perfection for weddings and for the iridescent because it keeps it whimsical, but it's still very fun and professional and everything like that. So what really sets Reverie apart is we are professional from the very beginning. So as soon as you send an inquiry, we are saying like, "Oh, congratulations." We are trying to determine like what type of person you are, very like based on like how you communicate. So are you a very like point A direct person? Are you very much like go with the flow? So trying to decide how I can best communicate with you. So there's a science behind all of it as well, of like, how am I connecting with you to make sure that you're feeling the most like welcome and seen and heard. So really just making sure that I'm taking the time to know my clients very timely in my communication, just making sure that we're getting everything done in a timely manner.
One thing I like to communicate with potential clients is like from the first email, I want them to really know what we're all about.
Yes.
Like I try to put the enthusiasm in there because I am enthusiastic. Like all of
Mhm.
our guys are enthusiastic, you know. So it's like you're kind of the same way. Like even when you're
Yeah.
just dealing with vendors, like you really try to communicate that it's I don't want to say whimsical, but it's happy, it's
Yeah.
uplifting, it's energetic. Like that's really what you try to that's what you to me consistently put across there is that you're just always on top and ready to go, and you're pro and you're nice and you're sweet and you just really want to communicate that. So I think that's one thing that kind of sets you apart from others is that you focus on that, you focus on making everybody feel welcome and happy and yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to uplift everyone too, because it's not just about us. The wedding is it's a group effort. It's a team production. So if everyone's feeling happy and uplifted and ready to go, then it makes for a perfect day.
Can you sort of expand on the importance of the vendor relationship on the wedding day?
Yes, of course. So a vendor will make or break your wedding day. So like I said, you have to hire great vendors. You have to trust your vendors. But you have to make sure, I mean, that's the reason we have an approved vendor list in place is because unfortunately, there's not a prerequisite to be in the wedding industry. So like my aunt could pick up a clipboard and say she's a wedding planner and she's never done a wedding in her life. So we want to make sure that you're working with great people that show up and continuously do an amazing job. They're going to show up, they're going to do what they say they're going to do. They're going to make sure that this is about the couple and we are going to make the best day possible for that couple and we're going to work hard. And it's not a big thing I look for when I'm looking for great vendors is oh, it's that's not my job description, you know. It's we will do whatever it takes to make the day work perfectly for everyone. So it's we will help out with vendors if someone is having a rough day, something's behind, they got a flat tire, anything like that. Because I mean, things happen like that all the time, things that are beyond anyone's control. It's just being a team player and helping everyone out because this is a group effort. And if one person is not pulling their weight or if they're not on their A game, it can bring everyone else down. So just being happy and uplifting and making sure everything's going perfectly and smoothly and just really just helping everyone out. At the end of the day, like I said, you can hire a vendor, but what happens if they don't show up? You paid that vendor and they don't show up. So I mean, I don't want to intimidate people, but I want clients to know that you need to trust the people on these approved vendor lists because I mean there are several people that you've seen it on the news, you pay and they don't show up. So we want to make sure that you're working with the best people possible. We want to make sure that you're working with someone that fits your personality and your style and your budget. So I do have a an approved vendor list, but once I book each client and I get to know their personality, their style, and their budget even more, I narrow it down to pick a specific vendor for each client. That way it works well because you're going to be spending a majority of your day with these vendors. So you want to make sure that you're working with someone that you like and that matches your energy well. So yeah, vendor selection is the biggest part of a wedding day. So we are all a team.
Whenever we're working a wedding, what everybody sees is what we call in front of the curtain, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's in front of the curtain. So, what does it look like behind the curtain? Like what does from your perspective, what have you seen? What can you share that's behind the curtain that nobody sees? Because we're back there like, sweating, trying to make sure that everything like is presented well. So what does it look like behind that shroud that nobody can see behind?
Let me just go ahead and preface. My job is to come up with solutions without you even knowing that there is a problem. So, like you said, they will not see any of this because it's behind the curtains and it's they're not supposed to see it. That's my job is to fix it before you even know that there's a problem. I still have clients that are like, "What happened on my wedding day?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Nothing. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to know. You had an amazing day. It was fun. No war stories, nothing." So there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. I mean, you see caterers, the clients don't see the caterers running up and down the stairs with chafing dishes and all their boxes and wheeling things left and right and being in the hot kitchen and you just don't see all the hot work that goes into it. Same with DJs. You're pulling big speakers and stuff up the ramp with your wheelie. You don't see that, oh well, I got a flat tire and I had to call my wife to come switch my cars and now I'm 10 minutes late and all this stuff. So it's there's just a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So it's really kind of chaotic, but every vendor is just calm and you don't see the chaos behind it. So, and I think that that's what makes us so good at our jobs is because there is always something that's going to happen and it's just remaining calm. So I know I did a wedding out of town several years ago and the makeup artist had a family emergency. I mean, it was a crazy family emergency. Like, people were in the hospital. Like, she had a backup makeup artist come and do the wedding party. So nobody knew anything happened but me. So I was just trying to remain on top of it. Like, okay, we're going to stay on time and all of this stuff. And then also the same wedding, fire alarm went off at the venue. So it was just, there were too many candles in the space. So it set off the fire alarm, but it didn't happen during the wedding. So it was just while we were setting up. So no worries there. The couple was actually outside taking pictures anyway. So they didn't even know what was going on. Then, also the same wedding, a very well-known videographer was on his way. He was from Memphis, but we were at an out-of-town wedding, so he was on his way. Like I said, flat tire, and he was supposed to be live streaming the ceremony. And he had to call his wife, who's also a wedding vendor, to come switch cards with him, and she had a wedding the same day. So it was just a big, everyone is pulling their weight, and then videographer got there plenty of time to spare. No one knew anything was going on. That's why we include buffer time in the timeline, so we always have some space in case anything goes wrong. But yeah, it's just a cluster sometimes, but
It can
it's
be. You're
the
right.
remaining calm part. And a lot of it is stuff that's beyond our control. So, like I said, the flat tire or the power going out or anything like that.
There's a lot of variables, and
Hmm.
not just at the wedding day, but before, on the way there. And I
Yes.
think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you, like the vendors that you recommend, you probably recommend vendors that if things went sideways, their hearts would be broken. Because we take this stuff personally. Like when things
Yes.
go wrong, we're just like, all we want to do is just fix it and fix it quick and fix it right, and just because it's, I don't know. It's, we want to do a good job for our clients, but I don't know. I know you take it this way. It's personal. Like you
Hmm.
really have a personal stake in making sure that this wedding day goes off without a hitch. Like
Yes.
it's like deep down in your heart, you really, really want it to go well, you
Yes,
know?
for sure.
So
And
yeah.
numerous times I've had to, if something really does go wrong, there is a whole list of people that I could call and be like, hey, this is what's happening. Is there anything you could do to get here and help me out of this bind? Like, there's so many vendors and so many great people that I can call. They'll drop everything that they're doing, unless they're at a wedding, and come help me and making sure that everything still gets pulled off and goes perfectly smooth without anybody knowing what's going on. So it's really just surrounding yourself with a great, great group of vendors and people that you know and can trust and want to pull off the same event that you do. Like you said, just having that personal, like people pleasing, but very like humankind type personality. So.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. What do you wish more couples understood before their wedding day?
Don't sweat the small stuff. No one's going to remember what color fork you had at your wedding. So the small details, they are important in making a beautiful big impact, but it's not what's the most valuable the day of. Don't forget why you're getting married. Don't forget about the wedding ceremony itself, the actual unity of your lives, your families coming together. Don't forget the fun, happy celebration of why you're actually getting married.
Absolutely true. That's what everybody says. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows there's a whole lot of small stuff going down.
Yes.
Is there one wedding or maybe a few weddings that stick out in your mind where vendor teamwork really made a difference? Like, can you think of like this last minute emergency situation to where you're like, hey, if it wasn't for my team, we wouldn't have been able to pull this off, kind of thing.
There are a couple I can think of top of mind. There was a private residence wedding that I had not too long ago, and it was at their private residence, their house, and we had a tent and everything. We had a rain plan and all of that, but it just monsooned. And I mean, it was a beautiful day up until about 4 or 5 o'clock. and then it just started pouring. There was no forecast for rain. It was 20% chance of rain. So we're like, oh, 20%, we'll make it. We'll be fine. No, it poured from like 4:30 until like 11 o'clock at night. And I mean, didn't let up at all. It poured and poured and poured. And we did everything that we could, but we just couldn't help like the ground getting soaked. And so it was just, I really think it was all of obviously the vendors were amazing because the catering we had to switch up at the last minute. The DJ setup we had to switch up at the last minute. So we did have to make a lot of adjustments in a quick timeline. But what really made that wedding special was every single guest stayed the whole entire night. So usually rain deters people from coming, especially if they know it's at a private residence where it's tented and they know that, I mean, there's a chance you're going to get wet just walking from the parking to the tent. It's just every single guest stayed. And that's what makes it special because I couldn't have made it without my team and without some of the family friends that were helping bring like plywood to help support some of the tables and things like that. So it was like it was a really big group effort with vendors and with the family and friends as well. But it was just really impactful to see that every single person stayed the whole time and they had the time of their lives. And that just
That's
shows like
awesome.
it was a great party and how much they really love and enjoy the couple. So it was wonderful to see. And that was one of the families that I've worked for before in the past. And the other daughter's wedding was just freezing cold. So it was just funny how we went from one extreme to the other. They still welcome me back with open arms. They're the ones that cook me home cooked meals. Like it's just so special to be a part of that family. And it makes you want to do even more knowing that they trust you that much.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot be a lone wolf and work in this industry. You because I know for a fact the vendors that you recommend, you don't have any lone wolves on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, team players. Let's talk about something that you have apparently mastered, and it's the timeline. So why is the timeline so important?
So the timeline is more of a guideline for the day because, like we've been talking about, things change quickly. But really, you have to have a timeline in place so things stay on track. And the biggest thing I do when I create a timeline, first person I reach out to when I create a wedding day timeline is the photographer and the videographer because I want to make sure that we're working well together as a team and we are making the perfect timeline for this couple because some people want to do first look, some do not. So we want to make sure that it's completely customized to each couple. And we want to make sure that your photographer and videographer are there for all the important events. So even with the timeline, it's a group effort. So making sure that it works well for every single vendor. I'm not dictating what time you're doing certain tasks. So it's just me working well together as a group with your vendors to make sure that the timeline fits everyone's needs. And then also helping some vendors understand the importance of certain times because sometimes we can't take a certain picture here because this won't be ready in time. So just making sure all the vendors just oversee the full vision and timeline and setup of the day. So sometimes they just get in their own little okay, I have to do this and this and this. And I was like, that's great, but you have to see the whole timeline of the day. So I make it color coded so it's very easy to read. It's not overwhelming. I try not to do a lot of detail. I give as much detail as people need, but not all of the tiny little small notes that I need. I keep that in my notes and in my brain. But I also allow a lot of buffer time in between because sometimes wedding party is running behind or they went golfing early and then they ended up having to take a shower, so allowing that buffer time before they even come to the venue as well, allowing people time to eat. A lot of people forget to eat. That's a big thing. We want to push some water and some food, get something in your stomachs, that way you're not passing out the day of your wedding. So the timeline is really just It's great for everyone involved, but like I said, it is a guideline. I'm very flexible. So if your grandma is running behind and we need to push wedding party pictures before family pictures, we can definitely adjust things as needed and what works best for the couple and the day and then all the vendors. You want, like I said, you want to make sure you're working with professional vendors that are able to adapt. So it is flexible, but I like having the timeline. That way we can keep things on schedule.
Which parts of the wedding day would you say need the most attention, the most coordination?
The most coordination is usually once the ceremony starts, that is when really things are set into place. Because anything before the ceremony is usually flexible, and then once ceremony starts, that's when everything needs to keep running because that's part of the guest experience. So we do still allow buffer time, but I don't want the guests to be waiting around extra time wondering what's going on when something is taking a little bit longer. Like, say, a couple pictures are taking a little bit longer than we estimated. I don't want guests to be like, well, now what? So we want to make sure that as soon as the guests are arriving, everything is as timed out as perfectly possible because we don't want to affect the guest experience.
Why is that so important? You said that. You said guest experience. Why is the guest experience so important?
Usually, that's the number one thing my couples mention when I have consultations with them. I'm like, what is most important to you and your wedding day? And the number one thing they say is guest experience. And it's just because they want their family and friends to have a great time. They're spending a lot of time, energy, and money on this, so they want to make sure that their guests are having the best day possible as well. And then also the guest experience, that's what your guests are going to talk about for years to come. So, oh, remember at so and so's wedding when we had this? That was awesome. That was so much fun. So, they want to make sure that their guests are having the best time. And we want to make sure that we are presenting ourselves as well too, because if my name is on a wedding, we're going to make sure that it's a darn good wedding because it reflects on me and my business as well as all the other vendors as well. So we just don't want to leave any like buffer time for guests to just stand around. We do want to make sure that they're talking and enjoying, but we don't want it to just seem like dull and like nothing's happening, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amen to that.
Everything
Amen.
needs to be intentional.
With that said, how important is the ceremony?
The ceremony is my like biggest part of the day. So really it's that's the time that people are like, "Oh, it's real. We're getting married." And I'm like, "Yes, we're getting married. It's gonna be great." So it's just my favorite part of a wedding is lining everyone up for the ceremony and just reminding them, "Hey, this is when everything starts to just fly by. Just take it in. Don't forget to breathe. Just enjoy this moment because this is what the day is all about, is you two and your vows and just unifying your lives. Like, just don't forget this is what it's about. So, yeah, from a wedding planner's perspective, that's my favorite part of lining everyone up and being part of the ceremony that way. But also, it's very hectic as a planner too because sometimes usually I'm hiding behind a tree or a bush and like sometimes I can't hear the music that's playing. So I always have my assistant with the DJ. We cue everything very seamlessly and no one sees behind the scenes details of me like poking my head out and is like, is it playing? Like I don't want to be like that at all. So I want to just make sure that everything is smooth and seamless and just sometimes I can't hear what's going on because I have wedding party talking and then someone's over here talking and then the AC's running and then there's birds and it's just all the variables and I just want to make sure that everything's seamless and flows smoothly and no one sees the behind the scenes details. So that's the hectic part of the ceremony. And like you said, making sure that the microphone is working and that the photographer is where they're supposed to be and they're getting the great angles and I'm nowhere in the shot because my job is to be hidden and just to cue everyone and make sure that it's smooth. So yeah, the ceremony is the most important part of the day for me as well, because I want to make sure that it's perfect. And as soon as I send the last person down the aisle, then I feel like I can finally breathe. And so it's just
Yeah,
like, okay, the hard part's over. The
that's
rest of the
exactly
day
right.
is just easy flowing. So
Is there a particular type of couple that you enjoy working with more than others? I mean, like I said before, I've seen you do weddings of all types, flavors, shapes, sizes, whatever. You work great with all of them. But is there any one type of wedding that you prefer to do over another one? Not to say that you like this one and the rest of them suck, but like, is there one kind of wedding, one type of client that you like to do that sort of like defines what you are and what you're all about?
when someone truly like trust me, that is like the most respectful thing ever. And it's just like, oh, yes, you have done hundreds of thousands of weddings. So, like, you've seen it all and you know who I am as a person. So, I trust you to just pull it off. And I don't know, that's wonderful to me.
The clients that say, whatever you think, I trust your judgment. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Those are great. And because it kind of elevates it to the point where it's like, okay, now I've really got to step it up and really show them what I'm about, kind of thing. Yeah.
And it
So it
really lets me actually like show my creativity because, some weddings it's just the same over and over. So I like doing something different and fun and unique and actually showcasing actual like design.
so what has your experience with Deep Blue been like over the last several years?
Fantastic. Every single event is just perfection. So it's just wonderful. I mean, from the start of emailing you, hey, are you available on this day for this couple? You're like, oh my gosh, yes. You send me all the information I need. Like, it's just so easy and so fun to work with you. And all of your guys, especially on a wedding day too. Like, we've all developed like close, friendly relationships. So it's nice just seeing them do their thing. And I've put full trust in all of them as well. So just knowing that it's going to be the best day ever when they have you on their team, it's such a relief for me. And just, you're so professional, you're so fun. Like you said, you're passionate, you're enthusiastic, you're very uplifting and excited. And like you genuinely are just so excited to be a part of an event and be there for the clients. So I
Yes.
really appreciate it.
Yes. Well, we appreciate you because you're super easy to work with. I mean, but I tell you that all the time. Thank you for being so easy to work with because it's true. But from your perspective, how important is entertainment to a wedding day?
Oh, you're the number one vendor of the whole day. You are the most important vendor of every event because you are leading all of the formalities. You are providing the fun and the entertainment. If you're not there, it's not fun. Like we can't have an event if you're not there. And a DJ truly makes or breaks your wedding day because if they're not consistently keeping the entertainment going and like flowing like smoothly, if you have a lot of breaks between your music and it's like, "Oh, this song's not downloaded," then there's awkward pauses and then you are facilitating the whole like reception and the formalities of everything. And so it just allows a lot of awkwardness and a lot of standing, and it just looks so unprofessional if you don't know what you're doing. So truly, a DJ makes or breaks your entire reception and your wedding. I mean, especially for ceremony and everything. And a lot of people don't realize that even if you have live musicians for your ceremony, you still need a DJ because what if something happened? Well, first off, you need a DJ for mics and all of that. But what if something happens during the live music and you need to fill something in as well? Or if they have a reading or something going on during the ceremony, like that falls on the DJ. So the DJ truly makes or breaks your event.
And why would you say a DJ is more than just a guy that's playing music or a girl that's playing music? I mean,
Yeah,
what?
because You read the room, you understand the dynamics of the crowd. You start out with, you know that usually all the older people are there, and then after cake cutting, the older people leave. So you're catering to every single guest. It's not just a, oh, well, let's play this crazy music during dinner. And it's like, no, that just doesn't set the tone or read the room. So you have to genuinely know your couple, know your clients, what type of music they're interested in, and just genuinely read the room and just perform like you're doing everything.
Yeah, and don't forget about the emceeing part, which is
Yes,
extremely important.
that's the most important. Yes.
Yeah, the emceeing, and I have seen over the years some of these guys, and not taking anything away from them, because I've seen a lot of these guys that work in clubs, these DJs that work in clubs that try to transition over to weddings, and they think, oh, I can just take what I do here and go over and do a wedding. Like, no, man, you can't just do that. You got to be the guy on the
Oh no,
mic.
it's completely
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yes.
but
You know,
again,
I went to
some
one wedding. You know, I went to one wedding as a guest, and the DJ took the microphone into the bathroom with him. And I was like, where is he? And then I was like, was that a toilet that just flushed? Like you could hear it on the microphone. And I was like, what is this? It was a mess.
you
So
knew
yeah,
exactly what that was.
yes. Oh yeah, emceeing definitely makes or breaks the event too because you bring the energy too. So, and you have to like during dinner you set the mood for the dinner and the beginning of the reception and then you amp it up for all the reception and the fun and the energy and all of that.
You said that you have a preferred vendor list. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. But what are you telling them to look out for when they're hiring entertainment?
Really, I tell them to what is your vibe of the dance floor? Like, what are you expecting for your dance floor? Do you have a lot of dancers? Do you not? Do you want someone with great energy? Do you want something a little more like leading up to the energy and partying at the night? What are your vibes for your dance floor? And then that really helps me narrow down. Also, it's I usually base it off personality of my couples too. So, who do I think you're gonna mesh more with, personality wise? And it's just really you want your DJ to provide like the lights and like the fun part of the event as well. So, um, just knowing what each DJ company includes and what can be added on to a package as well. But it's just knowing you have great quality gear, knowing that you have the passion, you can mix things together, you like different types of music, and you provide different inputs of that different type of music to make sure that it just fits the client.
Wouldn't you agree that not every vendor is suited for every client? I
Oh, yeah,
mean,
for sure.
that's just I mean, because I've seen people contact us and they're like, yeah, we're having it out in the field and like it's going to be this theme or whatever. And sometimes you just know. It's like I'm
Yeah,
just, you know, gone are the days, or I just take every single thing that comes across my desk. Like
yeah.
that's not smart. I mean, that's not a good
Well, and
idea.
like I
But
said earlier, is during consultations, I'm interviewing the couple as well as they're interviewing me. So if I know that I had a inquiry one time of we're getting married at Elmwood Cemetery and then we're having a reception at a roller skating rink and it's like Halloween themed and it's dark and spooky and scary and it's like I love that. That sounds fun. I would love to be a guest, but I don't know if I could actually plan that. Like that's I don't do scary. Like that's just not my vibe. So like I told him I was like I love your idea. I think it's fun. I don't think I can do it justice. So I don't think I'm the planner for you, but I know the perfect planner who can do that for you. And then I don't mind recommending my peers because I know that it'll fit them better and it's what's best for the couple and for the planner. So I want to make sure that we're working with people that we align with like personality wise, and I just don't do scary. So,
I think that says a lot about you as a professional and as a person, that you don't take just everything that comes your way. You know,
yeah.
I mean, that's just not smart. That's just not
Yeah.
a good idea.
Well, and I
But,
want them to enjoy the planning experience as well. So it's like I want to make sure that you're paired up with someone that fits your personality because we book a year to 2 years in advance. So we're going to be spending a lot of time together. And if our personalities just don't mesh, I don't want to make it like not enjoyable for you as well. A smooth wedding day starts with a great vendor team that knows what they're doing and a good cup of coffee. A great vendor team makes the best wedding ever. Couples should care about entertainment because it makes or breaks your event and it provides the best guest experience that they'll remember for years to come. My name is Madison McGhee. Let me plan your wedding.